Myth number one, you discover if you're a trans person. To be trans is not something you discover, it is something you decide and go through. What you may discover is that you have severe persistent gender dysphoria, but guess what? You can choose to live with it and to live with the identity of your sex, of your gender, male or female, despite the pain. And this choice makes sense if the cost of transitioning, the psychological cost, the societal cost, or the physical cost is more expensive, is more painful, is more dangerous than the gender dysphoria. You don't discover if you're trans or not. You choose whether you want to transition depending on how bad you feel with your own anatomy and physiology and social perception, and how expensive it will be to do the transition. Again, not only monetarily, but also socially. Myth number two, you need to have gender dysphoria to be trans. For all intents and purposes, nobody cares about why you have transitioned. We say we care, but we don't. If I see this person and he tells me, hey, I never had gender dysphoria, I like being a woman, but I preferred to live like a man, and the doctors let me do it, and I'm happy now, or I'm sad now, but anyway, I live like a man. Am I going to tell him, hey, you're not a real trans person because real trans people have to have had gender dysphoria? No. And I would argue this is very dangerous because the fact that you can transition, that means you can ask the society and yourself to treat you like the other sex, and you say, okay, I'm going to treat myself like the other sex, society will treat me like the other sex. You can do it without the gender dysphoria. I think it's very stupid and dangerous. I even think it may be stupid and dangerous when you have the gender dysphoria if you have not gone through adolescence, but you can do it, and you're still a trans person. Myth number three, transitioning will improve your life. The answer is you never know, but you may want to take a chance. So here's the case where the probability that transitioning will improve your life is highest. If most of your life is well functioning and the gender dysphoria is the only thing that is spiking out and making you suffer. So if you clear out other mental issues, brainwashing by the social media, the normal confusion every child and every adolescent has, even without the brainwashing, if you put the brainwashing, it gets worse. If somehow you're clean from all this crap and gender dysphoria is the big prominent pain in your life, then it may be more likely than not that transitioning will improve your life. But unfortunately, since many societies do not accept trans people and they are not treat them nicely, who you live with, your social circle, your town, your city are also relevant. If you don't want to relocate, and if people around you will give you a very, very hard time if you transition, then the pain of the social oppression may be worse than the pain of gender dysphoria, and in that case, you may still prefer to suck it up and suffer the gender dysphoria, because the societal punishment may be harsher than the deep desire to be yourself. And this is true also for homosexuality. And this is something I totally support, reducing and being more inclusive and more open to accepting people's differences. But if we can do it without confusing them, medicalizing them, and long-term having them suffer again, that would be the best way.